Good morning. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It's Nvidia earnings day. We had the State of the Union yesterday. Markets are up pretty big here as well. It's not a crazy green. Good morning. It is Wednesday. It's not a crazy green day. But markets actually pushed up a decent amount yesterday. So here's yesterday at the opening bell. We pushed up and held most of the range. We're up to over 25,000 today. Nvidia up to 194s. The big question is, will Nvidia hit $200 a share ahead of its earnings this evening? So Nvidia releases earnings. It's kind of the Super Bowl of the stock market right now. Again, the president did the State of the Union address yesterday, in which we're up a little bit today. Again, Nvidia is going to be the big story of the day. Nvidia after hour earnings. It's basically the big report of the season. Effectively, it's going to be a gauge of whether AI, CapEx, and hype are still delivering enough growth to justify the valuation worries that we've seen going on in markets lately. Again, Nvidia is at 194s from 192s. So Nvidia is up a couple percent this morning, or maybe 1%. Again, there's not many economic reports today, but the rest of the week we do have them. What's up, Steve, Robert, Todd, R, Big Slum, Disciplined, AI, Vin, Farmer, VA, Bam Bam, High Flyer, Jason, Ava, guys, Dragos, Jonathan. Again, we did have NBA 30-year mortgage rates show up this morning. They just showed up at 6.09%, which is lower than 6.17%. So we are seeing mortgage rates start to decrease a little bit here. We are seeing mortgage rates start to come down a little bit. Again, I'll show you what this is. Again, you can kind of see 30-year mortgage rate 6.09% versus 6.17 last time. So that's a little bit lower than expected here as well. Again, Microsoft is looking for a new London HQ on Elizabeth Line, according to Financial Times. The US FHFA Director Polt says Fannie and Freddie are worth $500 billion. Talking about Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, worth $500 billion to $700 billion, and that the IPO will be this year, and it's very likely that they IPO this year. And so again, he said Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac going public is still on the table. Okay, look, I know some of you guys might like this music. For me, it's just a little bit too much. A little bit too much right now. Like, I'm not fighting vampires in the 90s this morning, guys. As much as the music might convince you I am fighting vampires in the 90s, I'm not this morning. So I'm going to turn that music off and put a little bit better. Look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq just broke highs of the day. Got up to 25.14s here. 25.14s. And yeah, we'll see what we get today, guys. We'll see what we get. I'm proud of you guys. You guys understood the joke, Bitcoin, 65s. Up a little bit from where it was yesterday at 63s, but it's at 65s. Bitcoin has actually had a green day yesterday. It's back up today. You can see it. Again, currently at 65.70, still pushing up this morning with everything else. Again, we had the State of the Union address yesterday. Again, the president painted this as the golden age of America, touting falling inflation, rising incomes, record stock markets, and contrasting that with public pessimism. It was geared towards shoring up support ahead of 2026 midterms. He boasted about stock market gains, roaring economy, low gas prices, mortgage rates, drug prices, and strong equities. He floated pocketbook ideas like savers match, tax credits. He called on Congress to ban large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. Which, honestly, I agree with that. I agree with that. Again, I definitely don't agree with everything he says. Again, it's not like I'm just blindly supporting him. And again, I'm very neutral on politics anyway. I dislike all of them, to be honest. Like all politicians. But I do agree that big corporations shouldn't be buying up residential homes because that's inflating prices. Obviously inflating prices. So I'm okay if he goes through that. Again, most people thought we would hear rhetoric regarding tariffs and the Fed, but we didn't really hear too much about that yesterday. He did talk about tariffs and America First trade posture, with him defending his tariff strategy after the Supreme Court's recent decision to reject the IEEPA tariffs and change that precedent. We'll see what happens. Nasdaq catching a bid. Yeah, Nasdaq's still running Bitcoin up there too. Look at the Nasdaq. Again, I don't really see any news that would drive this morning. Okay, so I do see some. Wait. Let me see. Hold on, actually. Yeah. So look. So this is Iran news. Iran negotiating delegation leaves Tehran, headed to Geneva to take part in the third round of nuclear negotiations, according to state media. And so again, their negotiating delegation has left Tehran, heading to Geneva to take part in the third round of nuclear negotiations, according to state media. You can see oil jump a little bit on this, but kind of went right back, retraced. Nasdaq pushing up at 25.14s. Again, Bitcoin up today. Most things are elevated. We also have Kazakhstan reportedly increased its oil and gas condensate production to 1.78 million barrels per day during February. And again, in terms of economic reports and stuff, I don't think we have much today. Let me make sure. I know we have jobless claims tomorrow and PPI inflation Friday. Nvidia earnings this evening. We'll cover all that stuff, but I hate this channel so much. It's great. Hey, what's up, Keith? Luke. Yeah, I'm in KO right now, so I am in Coca-Cola. I'm in at 60s. It's at 80 plus now. Dude, I got in Coca-Cola at $66. I must have gotten in this late last year. I'm actually really green on the day as well. I love this channel so much. It's the best. Hey, thanks so much. And again, let's take a look at yields this morning, huh? Again, yields currently sitting at 4.05%. 4.05% for yields. So you can see we did push up a little bit versus yesterday. Not a ton, but we pushed up a little bit versus yesterday for 10-year Treasury yields. Investors are weighing the State of the Union address. Again, so yields are up slightly on this. If we take a look at rate odds, it's still pretty low. Yeah, it's 2% likely that we're going to cut rates. This has dropped all the way down to 2%. The next FOMC decision is less than a month away, but yeah, there's only 2% chance that we cut rates next month. And again, the big story of the day is Nvidia earnings. I'm wondering if we're going to get choppy action today leading into Nvidia earnings. I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know. I'm curious if we get choppiness today. Choppy action. What do you guys think? Do we get choppiness, bull or bear? Is it just me or is the Apex light down? Bet wake me up when Bitcoin is comfortably above 70K. Yeah, Bitcoin is trying here, guys. I mean, it's trying. It's back up. It's holding 65s. Went down to 63s yesterday. Again, the Nasdaq continues to break highs of the day here. So again, here's the daily chart on the Nasdaq. Nasdaq is over 25,000 and it pulled right back to 25,000. Look, here's 25K right here. So it pulled right back to 25K a couple times, held support, and now it's pushing up to potentially break highs of the day here. Oil's pushing up now as well. Maybe a premium there. Gold, $5,200 an ounce. Silver, 90 plus an ounce. So over $90 an ounce for silver. And again, just like the Nasdaq, psychological levels matter. $90 right here. That's precisely where we bounce on silver. $90, exactly where we bounce. Yeah, we'll see. Again, there's silver. Again, Bitcoin up. Most things are up this morning. Again, Nasdaq dipping down here, but again, we've been breaking highs today. Let's do a poll here with big Nvidia earnings after the bell. Does the market trend up, down, or sideways today? Up, down, sideways. Gonna be the poll. Again, 30-year mortgage rates went down from 6.17 to 6.09% this morning. Circle really moving. Move happens after the chop. Yeah, I think that's plausible. I think it's possible. Like, I think we could get honestly either side. I think we could chop today leading into Nvidia earnings. We could have big bull optimism heading into Nvidia earnings. We could pull back a little bit leading into it. Just depends on what markets want to see. Yeah, maybe we'll have big bull optimism. I'm not sure. Again, OPEC Plus delegates expect group to resume modest supply hikes. And we did have FHFA Director Polt say Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac IPO this year is very likely. Trying to see other big news. U.S. must overhaul military readiness and tech metrics, according to Axios. All right, so the UK government said this morning that they have that UK government has become concerned it could face fresh criticism from the president if it does not lay out a plan to quickly, incredibly raise defense spending, according to Bloomberg. Yeah, I'm going to kind of review market action that went on overseas as well in a second. See if we can figure out what's boosting markets this much. Again, markets are up this morning. One of the reasons is AI and tariff fears were erased. Trump's tariffs came in softer than flagged. Everyone is front-running Nvidia as the next big catalyst for earnings. And if we look at odds makers today, like Polymarket, you can see the odds of Nvidia beating here. I'm sure they have at least something. Let's see. Yeah, 96% chance Nvidia beats its quarterly earnings as of now. Again, 96% chance. And again, I think it needs to beat and raise. It needs to beat and raise. So I think Nvidia needs a beat and raise scenario here. But again, as of now, 96% chance Nvidia beats its quarterly earnings. So non-GAAP EPS for the quarter is 142 as of creation. Greater than 152. 152, I mean EPS is what's expected for Nvidia. Again, we did have a Hut 8 mining come in with a 24-cent loss per share. They only expected 11-cent loss, 88 million in revenue versus 97 million expected. So Hut 8 did bad. What's the symbol for this? Is it Hut? Yeah. Yeah, Hut 8, Bitcoin mining stock, didn't do great. TJ Maxx, BDPS. Circle did good from earnings. Circle posted 43-cent EPS. They're pushing this morning. Circle Internet Group, again, 43-cent EPS versus 15 cents expected. 770 million in revenue versus 748 expected. Again, Lowe's, BDPS in revenue, but still dropped. We got a couple other companies, but nothing's really big here. The big ones drop it this evening. Again, Nvidia expected at 152 EPS. Salesforce expected at 305 EPS. Snowflake expected at 58 or at 27-cent EPS. Synopsys also releases. They're expected at 356 EPS. So, again, Snowflake, Salesforce, and Nvidia are the big stories today. Trade Desk as well, but tech. Again, we've had some big runs. To explain why the market's up, I would blame it on the State of the Union. But that's not really what it is. Like, we're up slightly on the day here on the Nasdaq, but the big moves happened yesterday. So, like, here's the real moves that happened that pushed everything higher so much. We're green this morning. It's not a crazy amount of green, but we're green. But this is the real move that happened yesterday at the opening bell. Yesterday at the opening bell, we pushed up, we pushed down. I did not have a good time day trading yesterday. But yeah. We'll see what happens. Again, it wasn't easy day trading yesterday. I'll put it that way. Trade Desk, I'll watch it. We have earnings today. What would an Nvidia miss due to markets? I think it would tank markets probably. But yeah, what I'm showing here is like Monday's AI panic and tariff scare got reversed. This is why we're up. New global tariff 10%, not 15%, triggering a relief move in equities. AI sentiment back, was back a little bit after AMD and Meta had their deal yesterday, which pushed AMD higher. AMD did their deal where Meta's going to buy $100 billion worth of AMD stuff. And so now AMD is noticeably higher. Meta, I think, still had a green day. Let me see. Meta had a slightly green day yesterday. Although we did drop the previous day for Meta, but again, earnings have been better than feared. Consumer data has been okay. State of the Union address was market friendly in the sense that it didn't add fresh shocks beyond tariffs already there. And so the tariff scare was dialed down a little bit yesterday during the State of the Union as well. And the 10% global tariffs now. So just a little bit more optimism with things, I think, is what we're seeing this morning. Heading into Nvidia, I think a lot of people are expecting Nvidia to have a crazy good quarter. And we might have some front loading into that potential outcome. Although, again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. PayPal is up to $47 right now, guys. PayPal helping me out this morning. Filling some of the gap on the downside here, man. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. What's up, Michael? Sandlot, I have no idea what you're saying. Yeah. Axon shows that software is not dead. I mean, look at PayPal, guys. PayPal, again, we did buy PayPal here. Look at PayPal the last few days. I'm proud of myself. I didn't get emotional and sell down here, And so we're back in PayPal. You love to see it. PayPal looks good. It looks good. Back up to almost $50 a share here. Look at that run on PayPal. Yeah, PayPal just went up 25, almost 25%, probably like 20 something percent, low 20s. But is Novo a good time to buy? Novo has had some volatility lately. I don't really like buying pharmaceuticals though, but Novo is down a lot. So we'll see about Novo. Axon. Yeah, Axon is up big. USAR, in phase, SoFi. I did not agree yesterday. I find it interesting that someone took 27,000 call contracts on Nvidia, and then today we get the news Morgan Stanley has adjusted their earnings expectation. Yeah, so again, Morgan Stanley did adjust their earnings expectation for Nvidia. Again, the earnings are scheduled for today. The stock closed pretty decent. It's up to 190s this morning for Nvidia here if you look at it. 194s. Yeah, revenue is expected 65 billion plus or minus 2%. GAAP gross margins are expected to be 74.8 plus or minus 0.5%. GAAP operating expenses are expected to be 6.7 billion. But again, Morgan Stanley analyst Joseph Moore and his team expect pretty strong Q4 results from Nvidia stock and have pretty good confidence that the company will perform well for the full year. Analysts who said that last quarter was very robust, 3 billion of upside, 10 billion sequential revenue growth, were disappointed by the stock market reaction. They noted that while it's obvious that intensifying shortages of DRAM, NAND, HDD, optical CPU, and power could be bottlenecks that could improve visibility for GPUs, they're not seeing that as demand for all forms of AI compute, including trailing edge, remains strong. He expects the ramp of Vera Rubin to happen roughly on time, but he sees potential for a steeper ramp in Rubin than his initial expectations. He noted for last quarter, the company reported revenue of almost 3 billion above guidance and guided for 8 billion of sequential growth. So because of all of this, he does not feel like there's been a deceleration. That's why he believes there'll be 2 billion or more upside to the 64 billion guidance today. So again, we'll see what happens. But that's Morgan Stanley changing their outlook. Again, Nvidia is down to the 200 EMA here at 194s. Yeah. What's up, Matthew? Bitcoin bullish. Yeah, Bitcoin's back up a little bit today, at least. Yeah, so in terms of economic reports, we don't have much, but we do have some Fed speakers, I think, today, right? Outside of Nvidia earnings. Oh, no, we don't even have that. Yeah, tomorrow we have jobless claims. Bowman speaking tomorrow. Friday we have delayed PPI inflation data for January. Expected at 0.3%. Yeah, 0.3% expected. We're all gonna get rich? Yeah, maybe. Rhodium. What are your thoughts on rhodium? The metal? What's the symbol for it? Yeah, but today we have Nvidia earnings, so while we don't have economic reports, we do have Nvidia earnings. I might buy Nvidia down here though. I might think about buying some Nvidia. We're right at the VWAP right here. Although I am a little nervous we turn back here, but I think I could probably justify some positions right now. Right? You're not gonna fail me on this last little piece here, guys? Come on now. Oh, you're gonna make me get it in higher. That's alright. Give me the VWAP bounce here. Yeah, give me the VWAP bounce. We're already rich because we have John. You're already rich because you have friends like me. Okay. With friends like me, you're already rich, guys. Yeah. Again, Lucid is down a huge percentage here. LCID yesterday at the opening bell. It's not huge. I guess it's all relative. It dropped all the way down to under $9 from $10 here. So at least 10% drop for Lucid yesterday. Nvidia will drop despite great results because some other reason they make up will come up with a reason to sell. Yeah, I'm watching yields a little bit. I might buy a little bit more here. What are we, 200 shares now? There we go. Give me the bounce at the VWAP here. That's what I'm looking for. I want to move all the way up here. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we're in Nvidia. Here's the Nasdaq. No, we don't have CPI data. Today's not CPI. Yeah, today is not CPI inflation day to day. Yeah, Nasdaq trying to hold some. Again, but Trump hailed the golden age of the U.S. economy, vowed tariffs stayed despite Supreme Court setback, and then speak about diplomacy first on Iran. European stocks climbed up. HSBC earnings. Again, we have Anthropic and AI-driven gains ahead of tonight's Nvidia report. Lowe's did drop earnings as well. Lowe's posted 198 versus 194 EPS, revenue of 20.6 versus 20.35 billion. The dollar was steady though. Again, crude is in a tight range on U.S.-Iran tensions. Gold and silver are up. Bank of England's greens, there's a strong case for the bank to do exactly the opposite of what the Fed is doing via Financial Times interview. So again, Bank of England's green basically says they're not doing what the Fed's doing. PPI is Friday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Guys, PPI is Friday, 8:30. So again, we have PPI inflation data on Friday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Jobless claims tomorrow. Well, we will day trade some futures here as well today. Yeah, I will be day trading some futures here. I might buy a dip here in futures. Now, again, just to be fair, this is a challenge account in one of these. So, I'm looking at a dip right here. Hold on. Where do I specify which account I'm on? What? I was trying to buy this dip in the Nasdaq. I missed it here. Hold on. I got to figure this out. Hold on. I got Trader Bait set up. Ugh. All right, I figured it out. Man, dude, this kind of hurts a little bit. I really wanted to buy this dip right here. If you look at the Nasdaq, I was trying to buy this right here. It hurts. It hurts, guys. Again, Saudi Arabia readies plans for short-term oil output rise, export surge in case of U.S. strike on Iran. So I do see that news just released. Again, a trader has just bought 27,000 Nvidia shares ahead of this week's, or Nvidia maybe call options for March 20th ahead of this week's earnings report. Again, Unusual Whales posted a trader has just bought 27,000 Nvidia 205 call options for March that expire March 20th ahead of this week's earnings report. Is that a good buy here, guys? Again, 205 strike price, 320 expiration, Nvidia call options. Somebody has just bought 27,000. Yeah. Kramer curse is unbeatable. Big Kramer. Did Kramer say anything regarding this? Wait, but okay, if I'm in this account, I have 3. All right. Gotta find my TPT. All right, so I'm still in Nvidia here. I might buy a little bit more here. We're just kind of consolidating. I'm looking for this to hold. Might buy a little bit more right here. All right, we're at 250 shares Nvidia right here. I believe it can bounce. Right at the VWAP here. That's kind of what I look for. All right, there we go. We're up at our Nvidia trade. I could buy the Nasdaq here as well. SanDisk. John, somebody's selling, somebody is buying. John, somebody's selling, somebody is buying. Think about it. Don't get fooled. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, there's always buyers and sellers, 100%. I agree. There we go. Nvidia's starting to rip up a little bit here. Give it a second. I don't know if I call it a rip, but it's starting to move up. Right at the volume weighted average price, right there. Happy Nvidia Day to all that celebrate. I celebrate it. Nvidia earnings is a huge day. I almost should have bought this Nasdaq here. Maybe I should have. Again, SanDisk is down today as well if we look at it. Here's SanDisk. Or it was down. It's up to 640s right now. Again, Citron Research publicly announced it is betting against the stock. When did this move happen here, though? This must have happened yesterday. So yesterday, SanDisk did drop after short seller Citron Research publicly announced it is betting against the stock. The move came after they had already surged 170% this year and an astonishingly 1,200% over the past year on high memory prices. All right, there we go. Nvidia. I'll limit my price here just a little bit. Sit in that, let that work. So. While algorithmically signals aggressive buyers initiated flow, but that doesn't prove whether it was opening long calls or somebody buying and closing existing short. If Nvidia does good, we all do good. Honestly, the whole market kind of does good if Nvidia does good. So All right, guys. Still at Nvidia here. I want to give it a second. We're still green on the trade. Nvidia never does well when it's at a high price at earnings. Trend is your friend. Overall, the market is trending higher. Now, yeah, market is doing well. I mean, market's up this morning, guys. The market is green. State of the Union, a lot of stuff potentially causing the market to be green today. But U.S. Trade Representative Greer is actually speaking right now. He said there will be hearings and consultations with trading partners. He reiterates sections 122, 301, and 232 are alternatives to tariffs. Has been in touch with trade partners to explain how replacement tariffs go along with trade deals. He said, we'll put out a Federal Register notice on investigations. Will be hearings and consultations with trading partners. We'll report findings, calculate harm to Americans from trade practices, and we'll see if current deals are going to be modified. Again, U.S. Trade Representative Greer giving us a little bit of an update on the tariffs here. Again, we'll see what the Nasdaq does right now, though. Again, SanDisk is still green after dropping from Citron Research betting against them ahead of Nvidia earnings today. Nvidia affects the markets, but less than it used to. I don't know. Nvidia is still the biggest weighted stock in the market. Like, Nvidia moves markets just because it's the most heavily weighted stock in the stock market. So Nvidia moves markets for sure. Now, how much it moves is arguable. But it's going to move markets at least a little bit. Depends on what the earnings do. If earnings are flat and we get flat reactions to earnings, then maybe we don't get big movement. But if earnings are big and, you know, we get big upward movement or big downward movement, market's going to follow suit most likely here. So do you think the mandate for big tech to plan, develop, and build their own power plants will increase CapEx and force Nvidia to address their forecast sales with this in mind? Maybe. I think eventually we're going to have to see some addressing of this. But the big question is when. I'm a big Nvidia shareholder, so it's a big day for me. Close my covered calls, which means I truly believe we can go up. Last time I betted against Nvidia, I lost, so I bet that the bet is up. Yeah, I don't have I don't generally take big positions against some of these healthy companies. Like, I'm not shorting any of these big healthy companies. I just don't think the edge is justifiable to short some of these, you know. Yeah, I'm going to stream Nvidia earnings 100%. Yeah, I'm definitely going to stream Nvidia earnings. Yeah, Nvidia's opinion on Netflix's future since the split. I'm in Netflix right now. I think Netflix is probably cheap long term. The PE ratio of Netflix, you know, is around 30, which isn't terrible for me. And so I'm holding Netflix long term. Netflix is one of those positions where it looks like it's decent right now, but it could always change. And so I'll continue to hold Netflix unless something changes for me personally. Again, not an investment professional, guys. Obviously, I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trading involves risk. Understand CFTC 4.41. Understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional here. But yeah, I'm personally going to continue to hold Netflix, but it's not risk-free. What I miss, fellas? Nasdaq's pretty green on the day. Netflix is pretty green on the day, huge. Today's the big day of the stock market. Yeah, Nvidia earnings day, you know, it's kind of the Super Bowl of earnings. So, again, we'll see what happens. I'm in Nvidia right now. Again, Trade Representative Greer says they have been in touch with trade partners to explain how replacement tariffs will go along with current trade deals. I believe he's still speaking as well here. Let me see. He said, we intend to stick to the China deal we had before. And so that should be, I would say, good news. Again, they said, we intend to stick to the China deal we had before. I've discussed excess capacity with China. Trade law and discrimination against U.S. could be helpful in some situations. And on tariffs, he said new trade investigations will look at excess industrial capacity, forced labor, and supply chains. Tariffs will go up to 15% for some countries. Regarding tariffs on Indonesia, we'll run an investigation, then we'll compare to what they agree to do and make a determination. And again, he said we'll see if current deals are modified. So, Trade Representative Greer is speaking right now regarding the tariffs. Netflix is pushing up some right now, though. Look at Netflix. I'm actually green on my Netflix positions now. Last 2 days basically wiped out any red. And I'm net green on all of my stuff, which is good. Coca-Cola has been doing really well, really well. So is Amazon, so is Apple. Okay, there's Nvidia at 194s. Nvidia drops earnings after 4 p.m. today. After the closing bell today. We'll be streaming live when it happens, but after 4 p.m. Exactly, the numbers are going to be good. Yeah, odds of Nvidia beating EPS are 96% right now. The odds are 96% for Nvidia beating EPS, so it's pretty likely that, again, this is on betting odds, which are not perfectly accurate, but the odds that it beats are 90+%. So it's pretty likely they're going to beat EPS. The question is, do they raise guidance? And what does that look like? What does the market want in terms of CapEx? Is another big question. Like, does the market want higher CapEx? You know, what does that mean? What is guidance? What does the guidance look like? Yeah, the results are after the closing bell at 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, Nasdaq up there. We are in Nvidia here. We bought the dip. We're just kind of sitting in this though. All right, guys, we're at 194s right now for Nvidia. So we are green in this little dip buy. We got it. It's pretty small. But my stock portfolio is already pretty green. NQ just kind of ranging back and forth. It almost looks like a flag or triangle in the Nasdaq here. So that looks pretty flaggish on a 1-minute chart. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to go up, but that does look like a flag here on a 1-minute chart. Again, NBA 30-year mortgage rate did show up under what it did last time, 6.17 last time. It showed up at 6.09% today for 30-year mortgages. I'd say a 70% chance it crashes on numbers and 25% chance it takes off and then sells off after producing a crash. 5% it takes off and holds. Earnings Hub is a pretty cool website. CapEx will be higher, deriving from what they invest in Meta. Yeah, but does the market want high CapEx? That's the big question. Market want high CapEx? I don't know. Again, that's a big question mark here. It really is. Does the market want high CapEx? Video will beat, of course, then pop and then drop. I could see a break below 170 by the end of next week, and therefore taking the market indices with it. Just say it. I mean, it's possible. Again, I think we've seen some unreasonable reactions to earnings this season. We've seen some unreasonable reactions. What do I mean by that? I'm gonna take a little bit off here. What do I mean by that? I mean, we've seen stocks beat and raise and go down. This is something that we have seen lately. We've seen stocks beat and raise and go down. We've seen the markets be incredibly strict on some of these stocks, tech stocks specifically, AI related stocks, chip stocks sometimes this earnings season. And so the question is, even if we beat and raise, what does Nvidia price do? Of course, it depends on how much we beat and raise, but what does the Nvidia price do? I do think being close to 200 is a good thing. So I do think being close to 200 is a good thing. I think Nvidia has really been in this range for a long time. So if we look at the actual price, Nvidia has been in a sideways range, I would say since last July. Since the end of last July, Nvidia has not gone really anywhere. It popped over 200s, got up to 212s, but we've had a long sideways consolidation. But now we're back up to the top of that. So, you know, maybe we'll push here. I really don't know. Maybe we push. And I think the fact that we're close to 200 might give us a little bit of swings towards the upside. Again, not an investment professional. Do not copy me. I have no idea what it's going to do, but Nasdaq is ranging pretty sideways right now with all this going on. The market is very picky with Nvidia numbers. Nvidia will sell the rip, come back to 160.70s and start another long leg up. Sentiment is sell first, ask questions later. Nvidia beating and raising guidance, which I expect might not change the overall downtrend. Yeah, so Nvidia earnings today are expected at 152 roughly per share EPS on 65.56 billion here. Again, we're going to review these numbers a little bit later, but that's what we're expecting today. Again, Greer is still talking. He said, talking with Canada and Mexico to avoid economic disruption and reshoring production to the United States, open to Canadian ideas on how to reach a deal. On USMCA, Canadian counterpart coming to Washington in the coming weeks. Talk to Canadian counterpart on Wednesday. Greer says they don't intend to escalate tariffs on China. So again, basically he's saying they're going to commit to the previous deal, is what it looks like. Yeah, Circle is actually up pretty big on earnings here today. So Circle up to $72 a share. Get Circle. Circle has been flying up. Again, huge move here. $72 a share. Somebody retail is bearish on Nvidia. Yeah, I mean, look, Nvidia, people fear Nvidia because Nvidia has the influence over the market. Novo just came out, said that collaboration aims that VivTex will license select oral drug delivery tech to Novo. Partnership expands the platform to metabolic diseases. Novo just had a deal announced, but yeah, look at Circle. Circle's up. Novo's down pretty big on the day still. Is it time to buy Novo? Novo PE ratio right now, the forward PE is 14. Pretty cheap. Yeah, so Novo's PE ratio is low, 10 to 13 at these current prices. I'm to buy Novo right now. Big AI capex sank other companies this earnings season. Yeah, and I think that's going to be one of the stories today. Is we'll see what happens with that type of stuff. I'm questioning how strict the market's going to be on some of these companies, though. Again, here's Nvidia. Nvidia 194s. I'm really just questioning how strict everybody's going to be on some of these companies. All right, guys. Again, Netflix 79s. Nvidia still pushing up. Honestly, we had this nice little VWAP dip buy right here. We bought the volume weighted average price right here, and we're still riding that position up. We've been kind of slowly scaling out along the way. Stocks are green today. Hopefully that holds. I picked a good time to buy Robinhood. What would be your dream price on Novo? Not entering it. Again, it's not that I dislike. I don't like pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies, too much stuff can change too quickly for pharma companies a lot of the time. Biotech and pharma, and you know, there's just a lot of stuff that can happen with these. You know, Novo gets down. Again, I don't know if there's any dream price that I necessarily have for it. I think if it gets down to $5, it's looking pretty risky too there, because you know, I don't think Novo is necessarily going to go out of business or anything, but I don't necessarily, they're not my favorite sector to buy. I like buying other sectors. Yeah, we also have Salesforce, CRM, and we have Snowflake earnings today after the closing bell as well. The big story, obviously, is Nvidia. And I did a poll this morning. I asked people, with big Nvidia earnings after the bell, does the market trend up, down, or sideways today? 58%, a very large margin on the poll. 58% say up. The market trends up today. 58% out of almost 500 votes. So most people betting that the market is going to trend up today ahead of Nvidia earnings at the closing bell. Again, we will see what we get. But again, most people betting on an upward trend today. An upward trend. Alibaba. Yeah, but Alibaba, I remember when this thing was at $70. So Alibaba's still up a lot over the, like if you put a weekly chart up, Alibaba was at under 100 for a while. So it being back up to 160s, 180s, 150s is better than it's been. Better than it has been. Hey, bud, love you, dude. Have a good day, bud. Hey, bring my glove. Go get my glove right now. All right, and bring that one. All right? All right, love you, dude. Nvidia is all about guidance. Listen to the call. Yeah, no, 100%. I agree. Nvidia is about guidance. Like, do we guide to justify some of these valuations? And wait for 2028. W day, work day, blow up. We'll do. They seem like a scam. It's not that they're a scam. They're just like, there's so much variance in biotech and medical companies is the problem. There's so much variance. Like what I mean by that is there's so much variance. Like bad things can happen. Like a company can go up, look like the strongest company in the world, and then have slightly bad trial results and drop 80% in a day. And so in terms of just risk tolerance for me, I try to invest. I love you. Have a good day. I try to invest in sectors that I understand and know. And one of the sectors I do not understand is biotechs. I don't know. That's not my sectors. I don't know how to really read those things well. And I do know that investors are fickle in those sectors. They find all these good or bad things in the reports. It can get risky really fast if you don't know it or understand it. And so I just generally try to avoid it. You know, Warren Buffett, I think, is the one that said, invest in what you understand. And again, I just don't understand pharma and biotech companies. Nvidia to 200 and then sell the news. Yeah, I do think 200 is an interesting level here. So I do think 200, you know, I think big psychological level up here at $200 a share right here. I think that's a big level. You know, I think obviously a lot of traders are watching $200 to see if Nvidia can get over it. Did it feel like this song was way louder than the last song? Yeah, that's just how biotech companies do it. I enjoy the show. Thank you. Hey, thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, brother. Again, 8 companies are considering raising capital in the U.S. investment grade primary market on Wednesday, according to Bloomberg. Again, Uber and Joby launch Uber Air electric air taxi booking. What does this mean, guys? Somebody help me out here. Uber and Joby launch Uber Air electric air taxi booking. All right, so it means Uber is adding a new option in the app so that some users can literally book short, point-to-point flights on Joby's electric air taxi (eVTOL) aircraft, similar to booking UberX or Uber Black. In practice, you'd enter your destination. If you're in a supported city or route, Uber Air shows up as a mode. Uber chains an Uber Black car to a nearby vertiport, a Joby electric air taxi flight, then another car on the other end. It's not a broad US rollout yet. It's an early city-specific launch. So what it sounded like is actually what it is. What do you think about Tesla? I think Tesla's interesting. Just depends on how well they enwrap themselves in AI now. They're pivot away from. Okay, so we did have hold on. We did have news just now that the Iran president says there are positive prospects for negotiations with Washington. So we did get this news just dropped. And here's oil. Nasdaq just tapped highs again here. Yeah, the last company I kind of need to go green on is Microsoft. Netflix, I'm back to close. Yeah, the last company I need to kind of go green on is Microsoft. What are you guys buying this morning, guys? Let me know. What are you guys buying? Microsoft's back up a little bit, though. My average price, I could add a little bit more to it. Jetsons. They get Nvidia. Big AI moment today after the closing bell. A key moment for the AI-driven market. Momentum in big tech stocks slows. Investors are watching whether massive AI spending is paying off, especially as Nvidia deepens ties with OpenAI and supply chips to to Meta. Competition is still up from AMD and Google. Nvidia's results will signal whether the AI boom still has room to run or is nearing its peak, is the big story today. Guidance is big. Again, Morgan Stanley did say recent market volatility driven by AI concerns may actually benefit investors. He said some fear disruptions. Only a small share, about 13% of the S&P, is truly at risk, and those stocks are already cheap and under-owned. Companies adopting AI have seen rising margins, strong pricing power, and growing measurable benefits. Banking, business services, and software are expected to gain the most. All right, so I asked people what they're buying today. Somebody said coffee, Axon, Fig. How's Fig doing? I saw the IPO on it. Like I remember when this thing IPO'd, it doesn't look like it's doing too hot from its IPO. Yeah, this thing is dry. This is why I don't mess with IPOs, guys. Again, everybody gets all excited about IPOs, and sometimes they run. I don't think the edge is very good, though. You know, this thing was at 143, basically. Fell all the way down to under $20. Within 6 months of IPOing, it's back up to 27s today, maybe more, but this is why I don't buy IPOs. And maybe it's a good stock. It doesn't matter. It's more so just how markets respond to stuff. Unity. Unity's had a tough time too. Software down from 42s down to 18s. Circle is up. Yeah, I saw Circle being up on good earnings. Circle ended up posting. Look at Circle's move from earnings. So yeah, Circle ended up posting 43-cent EPS versus 15 cents expected. Revenue of 770 million versus 748 million expected. So BDPS and revenue. Yeah, Circle's up. Big percentages this morning as well. Sold by Fig IPO for 101. And you probably lost money in that, didn't you? Microsoft, Oracle. I'm in Microsoft and Oracle. Those are kind of the two stocks that are still holding out a little bit. Although Oracle is looking a little better today. Fine, Nasdaq dips. Yeah, I'll try to here. Like the Nasdaq is just looking a little too rangy right now. Yeah, look at Circle. Obviously, I think the big story is Nvidia here. But it's rode back up to $200 a share. Again, market on edge over AI outlook. Nvidia reports earnings pivotal. Investors questioning the durability of AI. Strong results are expected, though. We'll see what happens. You know, the worry is that even strong earnings might not calm nerves. We did a poll and we asked people a couple questions today in chat. And one of the things that we saw here today is that a lot of people think Nvidia might have good earnings. They might beat EPS revenue and raise guidance. But even with that, people are still worried that Nvidia is not going to go up from its earnings report. And again, that follows a trend that we've seen this earnings season of strict reactions. You know, companies beat and raise and drop some this earnings season. Although I would say most of the earnings reports objectively have been pretty solid in AI. But in terms of markets, it hasn't been good enough. Which is the worry, you know. All right, so the Nasdaq is actually starting to dip a little bit here. I might try to buy this dip in this challenge account. See if we get funded real quick. Take 5 contracts here. The bottom of the range here. We'll see if this trend continues. Again, if you want to help support the channel, also guys, if you want to help support the channel, you can use promo code BG for Take Profit in Apex to get the max discount here. Again, most day traders lose money, so funding your own account thousands of dollars trying to look cool with real money makes no sense in the beginning in a market, in a system where most day traders lose. It's just reality. Most day traders are going to lose money. And so if you use Take Profit right now, you get 40% off. No activation fees. They give you a demo. They test your skill with the demo account first. If you pass the test, then they'll give you specific profit targets, different max loss levels. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for the challenge. And you can always reset if you lose and do other stuff. There's no activation fees. Once you're actually profitable and take profit, you can take withdrawals daily on there as well. Some of the most relaxed rules and funding in the game. And just really, really useful. You can also get 80% off, I believe, right now on Apex. I believe it's 80% off right now on Apex. But again, if you want to check out Take Profit, again, use BG promo code. Here's the link right there. I'm trying to give this time to bounce. Again, they're sponsors of mine. I'm biased because I get paid by them. So of course I'm biased, but genuinely useful. You want to help support free trading content where we don't sell a course or a service, don't claim to be experts. Check them out. There's the link. I'll put it to the top of the chat. I'm down in this trade, though. I might sell this and just wait. So we might sell this and wait. I'm at the bottom of the range. I want to see if it breaks underneath this right here before I sell. But we'll give it a second. Yeah, we're going to stream the numbers when they come out. There's no numbers dropping at 8:30 today, but we're going to stream Nvidia earnings for sure. Yeah. I'm trying to give this a second. Yeah, State of the Union did help markets a little bit, I think, actually. It's about 8 hours or so. So, yeah, the Nvidia earnings are at 4 p.m. It's about 8:30 this morning. So, yeah, like 7.5 hours, 8 hours. I'm sublimed. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit too close to the middle on this trade. So, video gonna break 200. So Jay. Yeah, I gotta wait for my stocks to do okay here. I think I just have to be patient. There we go. We're back up. We're almost green on the day. Let's see. I don't actually like my entry here. I think I'm too close to the middle of the range. I would have rather bought it down here, but that's all right. I'll give it a second. Yeah, does Nvidia beat or miss earnings today, guys? Again, we asked people with big Nvidia earnings after the bell, does the market trend up, down, or sideways? 60% says the market trends up. Again, we'll see. 60% say the market trends up. Let me know in chat right now. Again, Nvidia today is expecting earnings 152 a share on 65 billion in revenue. All right, so there we go. We're gonna take a little bit of this off. We're gonna take 2 off here. We're getting close to the top of the range. Just trying to build up a small profit first today, guys. So just looking to attack the sideways range here. I'll leave the last little bit to see if we hold. Fade the chat. Trent is your friend. Hey. Good, I could probably hold the rest break even now, I'm assuming. Go with the flow. I'm gonna hold the rest of this break even. If we break underneath my entry here, I'll just cut it. Very sideways trend for Nvidia ahead of earnings here. All right, so we're gonna just cut it right here and break even. Green on the day. Again, so Q4 revenue around 65 to 66 billion. That's plus 66 to 68% year over year. Non-GAAP EPS for Nvidia 1.5 to 1.53. I should have held this long. I did buy Nvidia down here at the volume weighted average price. Street is looking for roughly 72 to 73 billion for Q1 guidance, which would be an increase of 64% year over year. Some bulls think they can guide for a few percentage points above that. Again, the question, are customs overbuilding AI capacity versus multi-year AI infrastructure cycle? So the street is expecting Nvidia to keep talking supply constrained rather than demand constrained. Street wants a beat and raise plus a strong AI capex story to keep the trade alive. We'll see if it holds. Blockchain fears quantum. The code is for Take Profit Trader or Apex. You can use promo code BG, get the max discount on both of those. So. Quantum and blockchain can work together for sure. They could. Nasdaq's still in a really tight range here, guys. Really tight range at 2513s. Nvidia still pushing up though. But again, look at the Nasdaq range here. It's not really a good range, I would say. Again, we pushed up a lot over the last few days for Nvidia, and we're getting close to $200 a share here. So we are getting very close to $200 a share. Again, my stocks are very green on the day. Nvidia bounced precisely at the volume weighted average price. I love VY bounces here. I have a lot of content on VY bounces actually. Very easy trades. You know, you find a bullish upward trend, you find a pullback to the volume weighted average price, you look for a bounce. You know, you can set a risk level at some of these supports underneath it, and it just makes a lot of sense, guys. So again, one of my favorite type of trades. I've talked about this strategy for years and years and years. And again, here's the volume weighted average price right here. Again, the way I like to personally do it, again, I like to set my risk level at some of these supports right underneath it. Like some of these previous highs up here, you know. Look for the pullback here, have a tight risk. Look for like a range up to like maybe here, you know, attacking the range. I don't really like taking the highs of the day up here. I'd much rather just look for like a smaller range. Like if you saw me take the Nvidia trade, much smaller range. And again, it's a strategy I think that still works pretty well. They're not in competition. They both have use case. And again, it works in futures also. So it does work in futures as well. Hey, there's a question. Just where's the VWAP on Tradevate? Anybody know where the volume weighted average price is on Tradevate? Like I could use the 200 EMA. You know, I could use the 200 EMA, but where's the VWAP on Tradevate? Nvidia earnings are at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 4 p.m. All right, Nasdaq is coming back down here. Okay, I can look at community indicators and use it that way since the other ones don't work. I don't want the bands, I just want the regular ones. So. Okay. CEVWAP. All right, so we are dipping down a little bit on the Nasdaq. Nvidia getting close to the highs of the day. Highs of the day are at 194s. All right, I found it. I don't really like it as much, but it's alright. At least the 200 exponentials there. I'm not really a big fan of the upper and lower bands. I like just pullbacks. I'll probably look for the 200 exponential on the Nasdaq down here at 25,115s is probably what I'll look at. I might start to buy this dip though here. The Nasdaq. We'll try it. And again, this is my Apex account. I'll add a little bit into this, maybe like 4 contracts down here. We're right at the previous highs. I'll take 4. Give it some time. Probably should take a little bit larger size here in this one. We got the bounce exactly where we wanted, but it's not really a large bounce here. All right. Well, we got an immediate bounce right there, so I'm going to start scaling out of this position. All right. Quick little trade. Yeah, I love the 200 exponential buy. We're not really there yet. It's at about 115 on the Nasdaq, so it's right here. So, but we do have this support at 125 or so. Like, I like looking at whole dollar numbers as well, quarter dollar numbers. So I like looking at like 125 right here. If you look at where we bounce, 125. You know, obviously 25,000 is kind of the big level close to us down here at 25K, big psychological level, but. You know, I look at like 7.5s, 50s, 25s, whole dollar numbers, obviously like 25,000, 100, 200, you know. Did I see Vegas in the chat? I love Vegas. You know, I don't live in Vegas. Again, Greer still speaking. He says they expect the European Union and the United Kingdom to hold up their end of the bargain. Will raise tariff to 15% where appropriate. 15% tariff proclamation will be in coming days and soon. Again, the U.S. will put out a proclamation on the 15% tariff. Will be in the coming days. Looking on how to implement the 15% tariff. Goal on tariffs is continuity. Canadian wholesales fell 0.6%. Again, Nvidia dipping down a little bit here, though. Look at Nvidia fall. Obviously, this is a big story of the day. Going this weekend in Vegas, lowest RSI in history, was always going to pop from that. Buying that historical Bitcoin dip. Yeah, Bitcoin here, guys. Let me find it. Here's Bitcoin. There it is. Bitcoin's still heading up this morning at 66,000. The Bitcoin up to 66,000 here. Again, the big news we've had over the weekend, again, the State of the Union address, or not over the weekend, over the last 24 hours, State of the Union address last night. You know, didn't have as many tariff worries as expected, I think, and so markets are reacting positively. But again, most of these upward moves are moves that happened. Again, Bitcoin puts these big moves up overnight at like midnight every night. Big moves up or big moves down. But a lot of the Nasdaq, movement we're seeing is from yesterday. So again, we're green on the day for sure, but again, the big ruse on the Nasdaq really happened yesterday at the open. So yesterday at the open, we pushed up on the Nasdaq, and we've been having an upward trend since then. But that's really the big moves that we've seen. All right, guys. Nasdaq, small dip down. I could have maybe held this, but that 125 level did bounce us on Nasdaq. Testing that resistance of Bitcoin. We should get a small jump soon, maybe at the open. How's the monitor working today? Monitor's good, man. Monitor's good. I turned off G-Sync and the monitor's been working ever since. Yeah, so the monitor's fine. Again, Greer is still speaking. U.S. Trade Representative Greer. He said 301 probes on forced labor seafood coming soon. He deflects on if EU will rise to 15%, says details are soon to come regarding on whether the European Union are going to have tariffs raised to 15%. Said 15% tariff proclamation will be in the coming days and soon. Again, Bitcoin's still pushing here, though. Look at Bitcoin, guys. What do we do if Nvidia misses? I think people freak out. Honestly, if Nvidia misses, people freak out, I think. Yeah, silver and gold. Again, they're elevated, I think, on the day as well, right? Yeah, silver up to over $90. Silver's about to break highs of the day at 91s here. So silver's doing really, really well this morning. Gold is up, but not as up as silver. Gold over $5,200 an ounce, but not quite as high as silver here. Silver at 91s. Nvidia dumps after every earnings. Maybe. What's the implied volatility for today's earnings? Or the expected volatility? I'm waiting for Bitcoin now to dump back to 50,000. 3 to 9%. Okay. That's higher than normal, I think. Yeah, I think that's a little bit higher than normal. Bitcoin pump is ludicrous. Yeah, I mean, it's still under 70. Look at it, a gold bounce right here. But look at gold bouncing up right now. Again, I think the big story is Nvidia, obviously, of the day, but everything isn't so rosy. We're witnessing Bitcoin bubble bursting, folks. It's happening. It's real. Maybe. Nvidia expectations are too high. I think that's a lot of people's worries right now in markets, is that Nvidia expectations are just too high. Again, let me know if you guys think they are, but I think that's a lot of people's worries right now. Yeah, I'm showing the implied volatility on today is 5 to 6%. Options are pricing in 5 to 6% move in Nvidia after earnings. It's on the low side versus recent history, though. The market might be complacent where we're at, but again, 5 to 6% is what I'm showing. Crypto is the same story. Again, yields are slightly elevated on the day. They're not a crazy amount elevated, but they're slightly elevated. So, again, we'll see what happens with yields. Don't get trapped. Bitcoin probably going to back with 69,000 to get rejected. Hover there. Does Bitcoin close the next week red or green, especially with all the stuff going on? Again, we have PPI inflation data on Friday. I think that might influence Bitcoin some, depending on what it shows up as. I think it's expected at 0.3% from PPI inflation on Friday. So we do have PPI inflation data coming out on Friday. Nvidia close to the 200 EMA now. Nasdaq's a little bit too high over it. And again, I think the range on the Nasdaq right now is very clear. Like, this range is what we have. You know, so I think we have a very clear range here on the Nasdaq. We could wait for this range to break on the upside or on the downside. That's kind of what I'm looking at. But if we break on the downside, I'm more inclined to buy it because it's getting down to the 200 exponential and might look like a trend continuation. Holding my option on Nvidia, I'm up 30%. Hey, good luck, man. Same story every earnings. This is Bitcoin's first candle under the 200 EMA. There's no topping wick. How many people think Nvidia is overvalued? I'm not going to do a poll, but I'll ask people, do you think Nvidia is currently overvalued relative to its earnings? Put yes or no in chat. Is Nvidia overvalued right now? Yes or no? Yes. No. Maybe so. Bitcoin is projecting. Yes. Yes, sir. No way. No. No way. About the pop? No. Relative to its current earnings, yes, but future AI will grow into it, basically. No. Yes, it's way overvalued. No, it's fairly valued. No, no. Yes. What is Nvidia PE ratio? What is it, like 40 something? Yeah, it's 47 to 48. The TTM, which is the trailing 12-month PE ratio, is 47 to 48, which is high, you know, versus what's normal. But the 3-year average on Nvidia is 62, so it's actually below the current average, like historical averages. So it's got a lower PE compared to its historical average, despite high growth. Is one of the stories there with PE ratio. But if we're also looking at it, what's considered a good PE ratio. You know, if we're looking at what's considered good for PE ratio, you know, that's a different thing. That's a different thing. The market will tell us. Current yes, future no. They're in so much with this data center. Fair value. Overvalued is CrowdStrike. Yeah, CrowdStrike has dropped significantly, though, hasn't it? On Claude putting out security stuff. Yeah, look at CrowdStrike's drops. And again, what happened here, we talked about it yesterday. But what happened with CrowdStrike is that Anthropic, their Claude or whatever it is, put out a security software, which made people really worried about software. I have my crawfish mug today. You know, if you say crayfish, you're getting banned for life. That's all I'm saying. All right. I've got my crawfish mug. If you say crayfish, you know. All right, guys, we have 11 minutes here. 11 minutes. Yeah, a lot of worries about AI eating cybersecurity needs is what it is. But yeah, CrowdStrike 566 is back in November. It's down to 350s. Nasdaq popping out higher here though. 25 140s on the Nasdaq here. It's making a move up. Gotta tell my dogs. Act right. Act right. I remember when everyone hated robots on the phone. Now they love talking to a real person. Oh. Core business of Crowd has nothing to do with the Claude code scanner plugin. No, 100%. But I think it creates this worry about future needs and how it might impact margins for the future and security. I think that's what it does. Again, Nasdaq just popped higher here. Very tight range. Light news day ahead of Nvidia earnings. Again, they are saying that the Meta deal that was announced yesterday with AMD is going to boost growth outlook for AMD. Advanced Micro Devices secured a multi-year AI deal with Meta, supplying custom chips starting this year. Piper Sandler says the agreement structured with stock warrants could generate $100 billion in revenue over 5 years, driving higher earnings expectations. The bottom line is that Meta deal strengthens AMD's position in AI and lifts its long-term growth outlook. And again, AMD reacted really well to this deal yesterday. Meta did not, but that makes sense because the money's getting spent on AMD specifically. So AMD up 215s from under 200s here. So, you know, what is that, 8 or 9%? It was at 196s. So AMD up pretty significantly. Nasdaq getting towards the top of the range again here. I think Palantir will be good long term, but it might be slightly overvalued short term just based off of its ratios and its current valuations. That's my opinion on Palantir. I think it'll probably be fine long term, but you know, short term, it was up so much prior to these dips it's been making that I think the dips are kind of reasonable as well. You know, is that because again, Palantir hundreds of PE, like super high valuation. Went from $5 a share in 2023 to $207 a share in 2026 and 2025. So I think it just pushed up too much. Microsoft and Strategy, all I own. 20,000 on Microsoft, 10K on Strategy. Is Strategy liking this Bitcoin? Yeah, so Strategy back up to 130s here. Market Guru, best market guru out there, top 3. No, but seriously, listen, guys. Listen, I'm just here to help. Okay, I just like helping people. I just like teaching. You know, I just like teaching, guys. You know, I do this out of the kindness of my heart. I'm not here to make money. That's not what I do here. You know, like someone is like, "Hey, John, do you want to make money?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? What is money?" All right. But with that said, if you want to check out my sponsors or my affiliates here, check out Take Profit Trader. All right. Take Profit Trader. If you use promo code BG, again, BG, you get the max discount, 40% off on Take Profit. No activation fees. Daily withdrawals once you get over the buffer. Some of the most relaxed rules in funding on Take Profit. Again, promo code BG. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. If you fund your own account 10K, guess what? You're probably going to lose that $10,000. It makes no sense to do it. I don't care what course you take. I don't care what your guru says. Most day traders lose money. And so limit your risk. Try this. If you try it, they'll give you a profit target. They'll give you a max loss. You pass the test. Boom. You're funded. Again, some of the most relaxed rules in the game in funding. If you fail it, you only lose what you pay for it. It just makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. Use promo code BG at checkout. I'll put the link up here. Great way to help support the channel. Again, no PDT rule. You can see the link pinned at the top of the chat. I don't even know what money is here, guys. But I'm biased because they pay me money here. Not an investment professional. Don't copy me. Yeah. Again, if I show up in a suit one day, don't trust anything I'm saying. I might show up in a suit one day just to see if y'all are paying attention. I think I gotta buy a suit first, to be honest. I got a tux. I wore to the Mardi Gras ball here. You know. Nvidia earnings 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me in the tux? I have to find it. I don't know where it went. Let me find it. It's somewhere around here. I have to go to media, actually. Hold on, let me see. I'll find it. Anyways. Strategy pushing up. Nasdaq getting to the top of the range here. Nvidia. Almost a 195. 195 is right here. So even if we do break this high, I'm looking at this 195 level in Nvidia to see what that does. I can go to a media section, can't I? All right, guys. So look at Nvidia here. Look at the Nasdaq, guys. Nasdaq ripping over highs, 25 150s right now, 25 150s. Nvidia is starting to move up. Let me see if I can find the reason for this. But Circle is up big as well. Big pop in the Nasdaq. Just broke highs of the day here. Look at this, 25 150s for the Nasdaq pushing here. Microsoft's testing highs. I can't really figure out what's driving this. I don't think it's Nvidia, but again, the Nasdaq just popped over highs here. I'm watching for news. Yeah, guys. I mean, listen. Again, if I show up looking like this, don't trust me. Don't trust me. All right. If I show up looking like this, don't trust me. Nasdaq is popping up here. Look at the Nasdaq. 25 163s right now on the Nasdaq. Look at this move here. Whoa. It's not even Nvidia related. I don't know what's driving this move. Yeah, I don't know what is driving this move here. I'm looking at at Mag 7 stocks. AMD bounced. Meta is up a little bit, not enough to justify this. Microsoft just broke highs of the day at 391.80s. Alphabet's really not up much at all. Netflix is pushing a little bit higher here. Amazon's pushing up as well. Could just be a high that break, range break here. 25 160s on the Nasdaq here, guys. 25 160s. Again, Circle flying up here. Circle making moves. Bro. Let's go on becoming filthy rich today. Hey, good luck becoming filthy rich. I hope you do. That's the thickest move for this time in a while. Not just the Nasdaq going up. I mean, Nvidia's up too. Nvidia's testing highs. We got a big volume spike at that period of time as well. Nasdaq, I'm looking at the top of the range. Nvidia is getting close though. So again, here's Nvidia, high of the day right here, 194.68, high of the day. 195 is right above that. You look at a little level right there too. But again, Nvidia's up. Microsoft broke highs of the day. And Nasdaq coming back down now too. Yeah, Oracle's testing the top of the range as well. Again, I should have held that VWAP bounce I got in on Nvidia earlier. Again, I bought Nvidia right here, literally right there. Again, nice upward trend, pull back to the VWAP, bounce. Again, I like these because again, you can use a risk level of like a previously confirmed support underneath this, and so you can have a small risk here. You know, this area is your risk. Sorry, that's not the best. This area is the risk, and your reward target can be much bigger than that. It could be like this, you know, and so you can have a small risk and a decent reward target with a VWAP bounce. Good math. Good math. Again, Nvidia went and tapped the high of the day and then went pushed back here with the rest of the Nasdaq. So I think the Nasdaq's still following Nvidia, but with all this green, do you think we'll get a red open and then bounce? I think we could have choppiness today, to be honest here. Like, I genuinely think we could have choppiness today. 30 minutes until the open. Yeah, we got 30 minutes. It's now 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to be day trading live this morning at the opening bell anyway. So bears have lost more money than any time in history over the past 12 months. Over the past 3 months, they really run low on capital compared to others. Here's for pop. Art class. Yeah, you know, I like art class is kind of funny. I more prefer, look at the Nasdaq test highs of the day here. I more prefer John Madden right now. My name's John anyway, so, you know, if we get in here, small risk, you know, and we run this play like this, have a decent reward target, boom, touchdown, you know. Small risk, big reward. Bears will not progress. I mean, the longer you wait, usually bears are losing money, depending on which time wave. If we're talking about long-term bears, it's the worst. Again, it's just trading against the biggest statistical edge the market gives you. I'm not saying you can't find slivers of opportunity to make money on the short side long-term, but the edge isn't very high, and you better be right, because if you're wrong. And you can be wrong in a lot of different ways. You can be too early. You can be too late. You can, you know, if you're wrong, you know, you're really wrong, usually. There's not a such thing as a long-term bear. I don't know. I think you'd be surprised at how many people bet against the market long term. I mean, there is such a thing. They might be rare, but bullish ahead of Nvidia earnings. All right, here's the Nasdaq dipping down here. We might actually buy this dip. Let's try it. I'll give it some time though. I need a larger dip though, all things considered. Gotta get used to trade evading. Where's the 200 EMA? I should wait. Michael Blurry. Nasdaq returns 20% from the last 200 exponential breakout. Long-term rewards are good. Bullish or bearish for the opening bell today? I did a poll. I said, with big Nvidia earnings after the bell, does the market trend up, down, or sideways today? 59% out of almost 900 votes said the market trends up. All right, so a hacker reportedly exploited Anthropic's PBC's artificial intelligence chatbot to carry out a series of attacks against Mexican government agencies, according to Bloomberg. With that said, are you bullish or bearish for the opening bell? Yeah, let me know how you feel. Are you bullish or bearish for today's open? No? Did a bull in China shop? Bearish one. Bank of America thinks silver could rise back over $100 an ounce again this year. In silver, 91s. 20 for silver. So silver is actually pretty elevated today. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in 24 minutes. 24 minutes. Bank of America is trying to pump their bags. No, silver. I don't know. I think if silver's at $91 a share, it's not a crazy expectation to say, hey, silver might break 100 this year. If it's at 91s, you know, the closer it gets to 100, I think the higher likelihood it breaks, obviously. And so I think if silver's at 91s, you know, I don't think $100 an ounce is a shocking prediction. But let me know what you guys think. Will silver break $100 an ounce this year? Let me know. What's up, Sam? No? Again, looking at the poll so far, 63% bulls so far, 63%, 36% bears. The Nasdaq's at a little dip here. I'll try to buy this dip now. I need to take larger size though here. Let me get in. All right. We got a nice little pop as soon as I got in. Let's see if it holds this pop though. A little bit larger here. Goldman Sachs have predicted less than 150 for silver this year, or greater than 150 for silver this year. Yeah, but that was when silver was over 120. So there we go. Silver may hit 100 before the first. Oh, it definitely could. I mean, especially if things take off with everything here. All right, so not a bad little trade here. I'm gonna take half, like a little bit less than half of this off now. We have 5 still left. I'm looking for the top of the range up here. I don't like how Trade Evade zooms and it auto adjusts. I don't like that at all. We'll give this a little bit of time though. We have 20 minutes left until the market opens. 20 minutes. How do I trade the SPY on Apex wealth charts? Is wealth charts a platform? If it's in futures, if you're talking about Apex Trader, if it's in futures, there we go. I'm gonna take a little bit more off here on this rip. 3 contracts left. Got the high break here. 2 left now. Still pushing up, testing this high up there. Go rip it up here. Let's see if it holds. Take that off as well here. We have 1 left. If we keep pushing. What is this? There we go, another pop. Take it off up here on this pop. We're out. You love to see it. How much are we up now? We're up 270s on the day. That's good. The song is just a little bit too much. I can't handle it. Again, we had the song earlier that sounded like I was fighting vampires in the 90s. I don't know what this last song sounded like. I don't think it's necessarily fighting vampires in the 90s. But again, Nasdaq popping up here. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia getting close to highs of the day. Yeah, so if you're talking about futures, just the way you trade the SPY is to trade the ES. The SPY is a leveraged ETF. Okay, so the SPY is the S&P 500, right? Here's the SPY, and here's the S&P 500 futures contract. It's the same price action. The difference is price, though. The SPY is a 3x leveraged ETF. It'll get you more exposed to, higher swings. But it's a way to invest in the S&P 500. Now, remember, the S&P 500 is an index that you can't trade directly. Same thing with the Nasdaq. But there are S&P 500 futures contracts like the ES, or you could trade an ETF like the SPY. It's all the same. It's all the S&P 500, but slightly different variations. But the movement should be similar. Now, the price points are going to be different. But again, dip on the SPY, rebound back up. Dip on the ES, rebound back up. It's the same thing, basically. Slightly different vehicles, but underlying or following the same underlying asset is what it is. Oh, the SPY is a 3X. I might be thinking of QQQ is probably what I'm thinking of. Yeah, whatever the SPY is. Yeah, SPY is just the State Street, S&P 500 ETF trust. So, but yeah, the point remains. Still an ETF. Yeah, I'll have to turn off auto adjust. Again, I'm out. I just rode the breakout. Higher. And we're out. Shares are going to be liquid today. Huge short. We'll see, brother. We'll see. A lot of things moving today. Yeah, thank you. I just turned the auto fit off. Yeah, look at the Nasdaq here though, guys. So the Nasdaq, again, I drew this line right here at 7.5. So remember I talked about 7.5, and that's exactly where we rejected here. Wasn't exactly at 7.5. 7.5 is a little bit lower, but watching 150s down here. Maybe if we drop down to 150s, right? 150s is right here. Maybe I'll buy it here, but probably not. Depends on how fast we drop and what this looks like. Yeah, Bitcoin, guys, back up to 66.5s. The Bitcoin trying to get back higher here. Look at this pullback here, though, in the Nasdaq here. So the Nasdaq actually dipping down pretty quickly. Again, Saudi Arabia is boosting oil output exports for U.S. attack on Iran contingency. Look at this dip here, chat. Try to buy this dip, I think. I need to scale in more. But I'll just leave it here for now, I guess. I'll go green before we add more to. It's a good thing I didn't add a ton to this. Look at, is Nvidia retracing back? No, Nvidia's not dropping that much. Meta, Apple, Amazon. I need a larger size, but I'd like to go green on the trade first before I add larger size here. So we'll give it a second, but we are running into all this support, so maybe we'll bounce. Dump it. It's too early. I mean, it's a small trade. It's two micros. Doesn't matter if it. I mean, we lose here. It's not the end of the world. Not gonna add to it though. And I do think we could have choppiness leading into Nvidia earnings just because of how big it is. You know, a lot of the times traders are less likely to take big positions, so we get choppiness leading into big reports. I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's just possible it does. E-mini rejected the daily 50. Simple. Yeah, I mean, look, if we break underneath this candle, I'm selling. So small loss there. Honestly, we've had two really nice winning trades, and then that's a small loss. But again, the Nasdaq just kind of turned. Not really Nvidia though. AMD maybe giving some back. Yeah, AMD ranks about the 14th in terms of market cap in Nasdaq. The S&P, it's top 50, 60 largest companies in the index, but it only makes up about 0.5%. Still slipping down here on the Nasdaq though. If you get down to the 200 EMA, I'll buy it again. I'm also worried we could have like a continued downward trend. And we only have 11 minutes into the open, so I might just wait. Trade the open. If it's yeah, look at these drops here. Again, Dell introduces Power Edge XR9700 server for Cloud RAN Edge AI. If this is oil related. All right, we're gonna try trade 2 here. 200 exponential on the Nasdaq. Again, it's small. Only gonna add to it if we go green in it. So I'm in 4 micro contracts now. We'll add a little bit more. There we go. We're in 6. There we go. We did bounce. Look at the 200 exponential here, guys. This is what I'm saying. Like the 200 EMA, even if we don't make money on this trade, the 200 EMA is literally right here. And so even if we continue down, like the fact that we bounced this huge candle retracement up there around that level. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna take half of that off, just protect the trade. There you go. Nice little pop. Take a little bit more off here. We'll hold the rest. Yeah, the 200 bounce. It's just so reliable in a short-term chart. It really is. Like that. What that means is that a lot of traders are watching this 200 exponential. What you see here is algorithms really watching it. So we pull back here. We get to the 200 exponential. You see this down wick right here? That down wick means that algorithms just bought this thing up most likely. Like look at these down wicks here, which means that we tapped it and then popped right back up immediately. So algorithms probably buying it up. Give this a little bit more time. But speaking of algorithms, I do have some of these algorithms I'm working on. And honestly, here's a 5-minute chart algorithm here. It looks pretty good, right? This is an algorithm I built. This one didn't work for sure, but this little guy did. This guy definitely did. These two guys did too. Red. This one maybe partially worked. This one worked too. That one definitely worked. Look at that, called the top. That thing. Look at this one too, called the bottom. This guy didn't work, so that's one. That one definitely worked too. You notice like it works well if you gotta find ones that don't work. It's all Bitcoin as well. Yeah, most of these are working. I have to look at the Nasdaq and how it performed. See the Nasdaq here. Honestly, the Nasdaq looks good too. Here's the NQ. So this is recent price action as well. Look, nice, nice. Some of them are thin, but these aren't really. Look at that guy right there. Action. Work 2 drops. This one didn't work, so that's 1 out of like 5 or 6, right? This one didn't work as well, so that's 2. That one worked. 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 Honestly, that one worked. That one worked. That one worked. That one didn't. That one did. That one didn't. That one, those didn't. That did. 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 That, this one's probably close. I'll just say it didn't work. Purposes. None of them are perfect. They're gonna go through, like, no algorithm's gonna work 100% of the time. This one, I mean, I'll have to look at other assets to see what works for. Nasdaq's still pushing up here, though. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes here. 4 minutes. Nvidia just broke highs of the day just now, so Nvidia just tapped over highs here. Nvidia over highs of the day. It had an opening bell here. All right, guys, here's the opening bell. Oh, I forgot I was still in this trade too. I don't know what I want to do with it. All right, we have 3 minutes at the open, guys. Nvidia is at highs of the day. I'm gonna take this off just because so I can watch Nvidia. Look at Nvidia at the highs of the day. 194.80s here ahead of the open. One to 50. Nvidia 500 by 2028, maybe. 2028's 2 years away. We'll see. All right, guys, here's the opening bell in 3 minutes, chat. 3 minutes. Again, 3 minutes until the open. Let's see what happens. Again, use promo code BG on Take Profit Trader. You get, again, 40% off, no activation fee, some of the most relaxed rules in the game and funding. And again, we're going to day trade live at the open. If you want to day trade with me, you can check it out. Great way to help support the channel. Again, if you enter in a promo code on Apex or Take Profit, just remember this face right here. Remember this face. Yeah, I gotta wait until the open at least a little bit plays out. Again, Nvidia is too close to highs. The market on open should be dropping soon, but again, I do think we could have choppiness today. I do think we could have choppiness today. I think the market could be choppy. Look at Nvidia drop here as well. Right down to here's the 200 EMA. We'll see if we bounce off of that. But yeah, we'll see. Again, here's the 200 exponential and the VWAP here. Nasdaq's still pushing up, which means something else pushing up with us. Microsoft's dipping down too here. The market on open. This is the market on open, it looks like. All right, guys, a minute left. All right, here's the open, guys. 1 minute. All right, guys, here's the open in 30 seconds. All right, here's the opening bell in 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. You can catch up. Top tick here and roll. Close. All right. There is the opening bell here, guys. Nasdaq pushed up toward, around the open here. So the NQ is up a little bit since the opening bell. All right, Nasdaq flying higher here, 25.2s. Nvidia pushing higher here as well. I should have held, guys. I should have held. Again, Alphabet pulling back a little bit. I am very green on the day. PayPal helping me out. I'm almost green in PayPal. PayPal at 40. Look at PayPal right now, guys. Nasdaq up. Shout out to PayPal today, guys. Took me a while, but I'm finally back to close to green. I'm going to take some off here. But I got out just in time. And Nvidia shooting up. Nasdaq shooting up here. Nvidia just broke highs of the day again. Got up to almost 195s. Right now, 195s on the Nasdaq. Big movement here. And there's 195s right here. Look at that line right there we had. Okay, we're 2 minutes into the day. Let's see if this holds. Little trap, it's not over yet. Again, we'll see if we hold here, guys. All right, let's see if we get a pullback now. Again, I still think it's possible we get choppiness today. And I think if we look at Alphabet, it's pulling back a little bit at the opening bell. Alphabet's at 3/10. Nvidia's still holding though, but yeah, AMD chat down on the day, 218 or 213s. Alphabet is as well. Again, vote on the poll. 73% bulls this morning, over 300 votes. 73% bulls. Again, look at Nvidia turn here, guys. Whoa. I am going to short the NQ a little bit here. Risky move, I know. That's all right. Maybe I'll get punished for it. Like I am getting punished for it. I'll give it a second, see if the rejection continues up here. I want to cut some of this now. Keep retracing all the way back down to the bottom here, but Part of this is Google. Google down under 310s right now. I cut probably this whole trade and just get out. I don't like it. Still up 240 on the day or something, but I maybe could have held, but we just pushed up too much. AMD, guys, is falling all the way down to under 212s. Nvidia's choppy. Oh, I did break my rule. You're right. You guys should have stopped me. I blame you guys. It's not my fault. It's y'all's fault. Nasdaq pushing over highs here. What's driving this up then? Hold on. Meta's up. Netflix is up. Amazon is up. Nvidia is slightly red since the opening bell, but not crazy amounts of red. Yeah. Yeah, you guys should have stopped me. I blame you guys here. All right, Nasdaq still flushing. Nasdaq about to break highs again, potentially. See if it gets up there. Definitely looks like a bull flag. Yeah, all good. What's up, Freddie? I'll help you if you cover my losses. Yeah, there's the Nasdaq pushing up to highs. We are now over 5 minutes since the bell here. Again, we do have interesting price action today. Nasdaq coming down here. I will buy a dip in the NQ. If we get down to like 200s or maybe 180s, I will buy a dip. It needs to be pretty dippy for me to be interested in buying it. So I'd like this level here. Maybe 180s here. Rising pennant. All right, Nvidia coming back up here. Looks like I'm not gonna get my dip. All right, I gotta wait. All right, Nvidia coming back down here. Here's the bottom of the range, 194. So the opening bell low is at 194s right now. The Nasdaq is still pushing though. This is Alphabet rebounding all the way back up here. So look at Google. Had a pretty steep drop at the open, rebounded back up. It's at 311s now. 311, still pushing the Nasdaq higher. $250, see, you're rejecting. Right here, 250. Again, I like those half dollar, whole dollar numbers, 250 here. Okay, look at Alphabet. Driving the market higher here right now. Again, Nvidia's getting close to that low of 194s. Nvidia just cracked that 194 level. Or we've it's up to 102s. Take the week out. All right, Nvidia still breaking down here. You get PayPal back up though. Alphabet back up. Amazon's down. Apple's flat. Meta's up. Microsoft's up. Nvidia did rebound back up. Nasdaq just tapped highs of the day. 25,250s here. What's the lifetime high on the NQ? Isn't it 26 something? Hold on, let me see. 26,350s. Again, the range is so small on the Nasdaq. It's hard to trade this. Like, it looks like a bull flag, but again, I gotta wait for this. I'm in Netflix. What's Netflix doing? Netflix, rip it up. Very green in Netflix today too. It's funny, like somebody the other day, and again, I'm not judging you if you were wrong about Netflix short term. Somebody the other day was telling me, like, Netflix had dropped a small percentage, and they were like, "See, I told you Netflix was bad." Here we are, guys. Here we are. Netflix up to $81 a share. I'm probably gonna take a little bit more off of this too. I think I'll hold it long term, but well. Netflix flying up today. Gonna get a pump on Nvidia earnings. Get Nasdaq at 25,250s. All right, we're starting to drop down here though. We're at 250s again. Nasdaq. It's kind of thin. 50s right here. But it might bounce. We are. That's the highs of the day again. Doesn't look like it's gonna hold though. The range's kind of thin. All right, so we're still Nasdaq just rip it up here. 270s, 277s, 280s. Man, guys, PayPal helping me out today. PayPal at $48. Bunch of other stuff's helping me out too, to be honest. Microsoft, Netflix. Get Nvidia pop. All right, Nasdaq is still up there. Yeah, where do you see that they don't allow scalping? I'm pretty sure they do. What rules are you reading? Are you reading the high frequency trading guy that knows? That's a little bit different than scalping. And again, they're 90% off sale ended, but they still have 80% off some of the cheapest accounts in the game on Apex. Again, you can use my promo code to get that 80%. Great way to learn. Again, most day traders lose. And so, yeah, you can use my promo code if you want to help support the channel. BG. Here's the link. You can check it out. For Apex as well. Take profits there as well. Again, Nasdaq's flying up to 290s here. Get the Nasdaq break highs again. Again, Netflix driving this back up to 81 plus now. Netflix, Microsoft. Again, Apple up to 273s right now. So Apple's flying up as well. We bought Apple a couple days ago. Beautiful trade here. Beautiful trade. Amazon as well. We bought Amazon. But Apple's up to 270s. Netflix up to 81s. Look at this movement here. Wow. Hey, nice sublimed. Yeah, Nasdaq is just flying up here. We might be getting a little bit too elevated though. So I might short here. I'm not going to take any more positions here. I'm not going to add to this yet. If we start to break down, and then maybe I'll add to it. Break down here. Oh, we bounced right off my entry. That's never good. But again, I'm starting small here. And one of the things I'm doing here, chat, in these prop firms is I am taking small positions first and then adding to win. Get them. And then if we don't get them, it's pretty small losses. But if we do get them, they're usually a little bit larger as long as I can manage it correctly. And I think that's a great way to do it. Add to winners. Take small size initially and then add to them if they're winning trades, not losing trades. But man, we are flying higher here. I'm gonna have to cut this. Yeah, small loss though. We'll give it some time. Establish short around 320s. Yeah, that's right around where we're at now. Like, I have a big enough cushion on the day where I can add to some of these winners. If we break down some more. I just took another one here. I start unloading half. Sometimes my best trades are trades where I jump right back in after I lose. What I just did here. Okay, we have 3 left. Here we go. Look at that. Thirds of the position off. Hold 1 left. Maximize. All right, we're gonna cut this last one, break even. So nice green trade. Back over $300 on this one. Alphabet's still ripping up. So is Netflix, though, man. What else am I in right now? Whoa, look at Netflix, guys. $82 here. Off. Very nicely green day. Microsoft's starting to come back too, which is good. Nvidia's getting back up to the top of the range. Nasdaq is just not looking back though ahead of Nvidia earnings today. And I'm still kind of waiting here. Microsoft tapped 395s. Nvidia is edging higher here as well, though. Nasdaq just broke highs again, 25,350s. Look at Nvidia just break out over the highs of the day at 195 here. So Nvidia up to 195.30s right now. Hopefully the earnings continue to push. I'll unload some of this other stuff here too. Nasdaq still very green here. Again, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bitcoin, guys, is or no wait, that's not. I'm sorry. Again, Bitcoin's flying up as well, almost to 67,000 here for Bitcoin. Nvidia up to 195.60s, and I think $200 is close enough for Nvidia to where it's possible. It's possible. Sorry, I'm trying to do things in the background. Small pullback in Nvidia. Still pushing towards highs of the day at 195.60 here. Do we hold these gains of the day or reverse back down, chat? You guys think we hold these gains of the day? Put yes or no. Yes or no. I don't know here. Again, I think we are heading into Nvidia earnings at the closing bell. So maybe we hold some of these gains. But again, put yes or no in chat. Let me know what you guys think. Right, with 195.70s. No? Bit overextended on the long side? No. Most people think we do not hold these gains. Nasdaq still pushing here though. Nvidia at 195s right now, 195.70s. Very big green days the last few days, guys. $195.70s here. Nvidia earnings drop at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. They are not out yet. They drop at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's hard not to go long right now. Nvidia just broke highs. It's pushing up to 196. Let's see if 196 rejects it here on Nvidia. It's hard not to go long right now, though, but I kind of just got to wait. I think we're up a lot. I don't want to get stuck in a big correction on the downside here in a bull trap, so I'm just going to wait. That was a bit like a bull trap. Yeah, it might be. No, yes, no. So most people think we're not going to hold here today. All right, guys, here's a dip. Nasdaq and Nvidia. A large pullback. We get greedy and try to buy this dip, maybe. I bought it already. Yeah, again, a lot of people are waiting Nvidia earnings. We'll be back later on today for Nvidia earnings. There's a reasonable pullback here at 300, but we retraced up there too quick. Nvidia pulling back too. Again, should I buy this? Maybe. Try. Risky buy. The VWAP's too far down there. Where's the two? Way down there. I'll buy future. Go. Go. Maybe add more to this and see if we could hold. We'll hold the rest of the break even here. I'll add to this, see if it holds. Yeah, I gotta cut it. So we made money in the trade. We're up 400 plus now, which is good, but All right, guys, Nvidia getting close to this top. Again, remember, we do have Nvidia earnings that we're going to be streaming live after closing bell today. Hopefully we get good stuff. Hopefully we get good stuff. Microsoft flying. Yeah, I'm in Microsoft right now, and it looks good. I've been mostly buying dips today, and that's been working, but obviously the worry is that the dips are not going to keep on dipping for me. Microsoft's still up huge. 398s from Microsoft, so again, we'll see what happens. Again, I'll be back for Nvidia earnings later on today. So I will be back for Nvidia earnings later. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sitting here talking muted here. That's my fault. I'm dumb. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, Nvidia gets good stuff. Again, I really don't know. Again, hopefully they do. See. Yeah, this is gonna be quarter one Nvidia earnings. So again, as soon as I close the stream, it'll bring you to that stream here. Let me make sure we got it. Hold on. I don't know why it keeps muting me. My bad. Again, as soon as I close the stream, it's going to bring you to tomorrow's stream. I'll see you guys over there. Or it'll bring you to today's stream. I'll see you guys over there. Good luck. Again, if you want to help support the channel, check out Take Profit, promo code BG. Beginner trading. Get max discount in both of those. Apex as well. Pretty cheap accounts on Apex, but Take Profit has no PDT rule. 40% off. No activation fees. Some of the most relaxed rules in the game in funding. So again, check them out. Great way to help support the channel. I'll see you guys over there for Nvidia earnings. Y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you in a few hours.